Exactly 12 minutes past the top of the hour. You're right in time for our fast conversation this Thursday morning on matters entertainment and politics. And entertainment takes centerpiece of our conversation today as we look at how film, theater, plays a big role when it comes to politics. And this is also as we gear up towards the August 9th general elections. My guests are here. To my immediate right, that is John Jumbi, JJ, who is a film and theater writer. Right next to him is Esther Kazungu. Esther Kazungu, nataka ukuje. Yes, she is an actor as well as a content creator. Good morning, lady and gent.
Good morning.
Mko fiti?
Tuko fiti.
Sasa mbona unapunguza sauti? And the way you really had energy.
Okay, sawa. So I'm being composed, you know these things.
It require composure.
Play the part.
All right, let's just take the conversation from where it needs to start from.
Okay.
And let's talk about Chatterbox. Try to form context and basics of our conversation.
Okay.
Talk to us about this production, when it started, and the kind of stories it focuses on.
All right, asante sana. Chatterbox started in 2013, right? And we've done productions for in film and in theater, right? So in theater we've done mostly political satire shows. We did Makofi Okello in 2015, Beya Jioni in 2017. Then we shifted to African folktale. We did Luanda Rockman in 2019, and now we are doing Irregardless. In film, we've done several short films that we put in Machawood, right? We've done Wembe Squad, which is a comedy crime web series, right? Crime comedy web series. That one is on it's on Base. And we are now gearing up for our first feature film. Yes.
Which is actually what we'll also be talking about as we move momentarily with this conversation. But let me come to you, Esther. I mean, for those that have really interacted so much with social media, niko sure wanakujua, and mostly for this political satire, in fact, the famous one being the Julius Malema. Is this really one of those things you wanted to do, and what really informs you to just pick up on content on matters to do with politics?
No, it's not something I wanted to do. I always say it's oops. It was an oops. Because I was doing a TikTok challenge where people were imitating musicians or music videos or movie scenes they've seen that were interesting. And I remembered that I had been watching these parliament videos. So I started, I recreated one, and then everyone was asking for more. But it was in line with what I had started doing, just subtly. I was not doing it. I didn't consider myself a digital activist then. I was just having conversations with people on my stories about what's going on, and people started associating me with digital activism. So it's not something that I sat down and said, this is the route I'm gonna take. It just happened. And this started when I was working at a media station, and I forcefully had to know what's happening in this country, because before then I wasn't.
You had no choice.
Yeah, I had no choice. Before then I said if I ever went into media, I'd do entertainment, and I wanted nothing to do with politics at all. So being a video journalist, I wasn't doing entertainment. I was doing mostly politics and news, and just this serious stuff, call it the serious stuff. So that's how I started. I started gaining interest in knowing what's happening in the country and actually discussing it with the younger people, mostly my Instagram followers. So that's how it was born. No plans at all.
So for you, ni kujipata?
Ni kujipata, literally.
And you moved with the wave?
Yeah, and I just moved with the wave. And I found myself now being passionate as I went.
Yeah, because, your content is really largely focused on, the current affairs issues and specifically matters to do with politics. Chatterbox.
Yes.
There's always something in the name. When you talk about art in whatever form of capacity, there's always something in the name. What's in the name that is Chatterbox?
I think the name is inspired by the position of art to talk and speak and comment about things in society, right? I've always felt that, of course, there's a lot of agencies, right, around society, media, right? But I think one of the things that art does is to give a different perspective, right? Put a twist on it and speak about whatever is happening in life. Politics is a big part of who we are, especially in this country, right? I don't know, 70-80% of a news segment will be very politically driven.
In fact, right now, whether you like it or not.
Yes, whether you like it or not. You're going, it's in every headline.
Yeah.
So why not join the conversation, you know, from a different perspective? Give a comment from humor, right? And just have somebody think about what they see every day in a different way. Yeah.
Na wanasema sanaa usanii ni kioo cha jamii.
Ndio hivyo sasa.
Kwa hivyo why not?
Ushasema.
All right, Esther, what has been the reception, given that you also just as a young person, and you know, right now, just as JJ is saying, this is what is shaping our conversations, and whether you like it or not, in one way or another, you'll just find yourself either consuming this kind of content or talking about it. But so far, given you also began some time back, what has been the reception amongst young people in consumption of political content?
I'm actually shocked that young people are very interested
in politics?
In politics, yes. Because anytime I talk about something that's happening or ask people, what do you think about this? They really like contribute. I can ask about something like that's not political and might get a few responses, but anytime I ask any question to do with politics or the state of the country, I get so many people responding, meaning young people are actually interested in I don't want to say like politics, but just decision making in this country, yeah.
But I mean, listening to you say that, isn't that conflicting? Because also when you look at the IEBC's report, particularly of the young registered voters, in fact, as it were, good political number of aspirants before they become candidates are really banking on the young voter. But looking at the 22.1 million already registered voters, the youth only form 38.94%, which is just 8.4 million out of all of this. And the biggest question is that not all of them will even turn out to vote. So then if you're saying that people, and young people to be specific, really are becoming so much interested in politics and decision making, so to speak, then where are we getting this disconnect in that respect?
Now that's the problem. Young people want to complain but don't want to do anything about it. And when you tell them that the decision is in your voting, because for me, for example, I did a campaign the other day and I was letting people know that I understand why you're pissed and you don't want to turn up like to vote, but in case you don't vote, then you have to keep quiet for the next 5 years because you did nothing. So I understand like people are tired, and that's where the low turnout is coming out from. But I just can advise them that doing nothing is now like more crippling to them, because they should not be given the right to complain if they did absolutely nothing. I know there's always that the narrative of, oh, what is the shai biwa or things like that. But if you do absolutely nothing, you have no right to speak. So I can just only advise them, to be honest. Yeah.
JJ, let me also pick your mind on the same thing, that just as from the basics, you already told us that this is where your center of focus is, matters with political satire. Do you agree or share the same view as Esther, that youths are tired, and if they are tired, then why don't they want to make a decision on the ballot? What is the problem?
I think there's a lot of disillusionment in this country. I think there's a lot of what I'd say, people don't have a lot of hope, right? I think there's so much pain and struggle in just getting by the day, right? With the conversation you guys have had this morning about costs of power, basic necessities, there's so much that is drained out of you, right? By the time, it's 6 p.m. in the evening, for you to even get energy to go and do whatever you need to do in terms of voting or putting a leader or even questioning a leader. Forget even about voting, all right? Voting is once in 5 years.
Yeah.
if within those 5 years, there's a lot in terms of questioning leaders. What do we need to do? Right now in every estate, we're discussing in every estate WhatsApp groups, leaders want to come and do, estate barazas, okay? But in 5 years, right, when they are in office, these barazas are non-existent, all right? They don't show up, or even the estate residents would not ask leaders to come in for these barazas, all right? So there's a whole, I don't know, dark side to how just people are, it's like there's no hope, right? It's like there's no hope, so there's no reason to go and do whatever needs to be done. I'm not excusing it. I just feel that's where many people are. Yeah.
Is it really a question of no hope? Because again, you keep saying that you can't live hopeless. You need to have hope. Hope is the fuel for living.
So I think people put hope in what they can control.
Okay.
Right? So they put their focus in everything they can do. So people will run their business from whatever time to whatever time. People will decide to, organize themselves into chamas and do something, all right? They'll go and buy land and put all their effort in it. So I think it's getting to a point where you feel, indio nitafanya, I'll put everything in here because this is what I'll draw the most from this. Yeah.
But then again, let me just stick on that a bit, and I still want to understand, also from your standings, is it really a question of no hope? Because just tying that question of voter apathy amongst the youth with the report, the Aga Khan report of 2016, which indicated that 90% of young people are actually willing to be on matters election, willing to participate in whatever form. And right now we keep seeing that the youth are saying that we need a seat on the table. So is it really a question of no hope, or young people are just indecisive? They really do not know how, or they haven't really made up their mind? Esther, what do you think?
I think young people, first, what JJ said, there's that frustration. But two, they also just think there is a state of hopelessness, because you feel like even if I enter politics, I'll still be frustrated. Like there'll still be that someone, I'll enter knowing I want to do the right thing, but there'll be that someone who's like, you umekuja juzi, unataka kufanya, things like that. So I think mostly it's that state of hopelessness. I don't know what else I can call it. It's mostly that. Yeah.
It's mostly hopelessness. So is this the hopelessness that also fueled the indecisiveness amongst the young folk?
It does. And also when you think, talking about what you've said about young people being in politics, in leadership, there is also what I'd call the Godfather system, okay? Which is basically you don't just get into politics like that, all right?
Unajua
nani, all right? I saw a video, how I think it was one of the candidates. So one of the primes was endorsing one guy, right? And so this other guy just got mad, walked off, went, it's in defiance. He's been told the seat is not yours, right? So the Godfather has not given him, an endorsement. Has not blessed him, right? So, and from the voters' point of view, that is done, all right? At least within that context, all right? So, as a young person, you want to enter into leadership, you want to enter into politics. So you ask yourself, so who do I know? Or who needs to know me so that I get to where I need to get?
I mean, this space that both of you have chosen, this kind of content is not one of those easy content. Yes, we'd appreciate where we are as a country in terms of democracy, even unlike other countries, the African continent, but still, it's not one of those easy forms or structures of content you can choose. Matters to do with leadership, governance, politics. Oftentimes, would elicit a lot of mixed reaction, negativity, so to speak. What has been the case on your side?
Okay, so most of my content is not, I don't think it's based, I'm not picking a side, I'm just informing people.
So you're really neutral?
Yeah, for me it's so easy because I'm just informing you, make the right decision. Do your research, don't just speak out of anger or, you're just trying to like soil the other side or like give them a bad name. Just do your research and make an informed decision. So most of my content is basically civic education. It's not me telling you what to do, it's me telling you how to do what you need to do.
So for you stand on the standing of more of education, enlightening, and let the public make its decision based.
I can't tell you who to vote for, but I can tell you how to choose who you're voting for, like the things to look at.
Just before we take that breather, what are those things to look at?
No. Oh my gosh, you got me off guard. Oh my gosh.
What are those things to look
just
at?
A track record, basically, because if somebody has been in office for long and they have done nothing, why are we even, like, is that a question? Why are you voting them in again? You're not.
But isn't those things that we miss? Because oftentimes, specifically even us as young people, we always know that this person hasn't done anything, but we still go ahead and do it nonetheless.
I think we're always voting for the lesser evil, and I understand why in Kenya. I understand why, but then again, I feel like the more we talk about, the more we have these conversations, the more we talk about this, we'll get to a place where now we've like weeded out those bad like leaders and people who make those decisions. The more we talk about it, I feel like, for me, I'm hopeful. I feel like one day...
You've not lost your hope?
I've not lost my hope. It's because even that thing you're saying about young people not turning up. Yeah. When someone tells me they're not turning up and they've only voted once, it surprises me because you've not... Auja bado. You've voted once. How? Why are you crying? Do it again and again. Ukisema you voted like 10 times and you've seen no change, sawa. Now we can have a conversation.
So we complain too much. Nabara tujateseka. Kwanza to feel pain and then now we can start saying something.
Okay, lakini si hivyo sana. Wewe say, oh, Kazungu said we suffer. No, don't suffer. Don't let your...
Because you're suffering already. I mean, as it is. Anyway.
Yeah, we are.
I want to take a very quick breather, but when we come back now, we'll talk about the film and what it's all about, just trying to understand the logic and what it's set to, to do, particularly when it comes to influence and shifting the minds of Kenyans altogether.
Okay.
All right, time for that breather. When we circle back, of course, we continue this conversation. Stay put. Welcome back. Still holding court with my guests. That is Jumbi, a film and theatre writer, as well as Esther Kazungu, who is an actor and content creator, and of course matters to do with politics and entertainment taking center stage of our conversations. Now, before we went on that break, I just wanted to now focus on the play that is beginning tomorrow, the political satire that is irregardless. And again, I almost said irresistible. But just from your perspective as, the writer, producer, so to speak, talk to us about this play.
Irregardless was inspired actually by, we all know our president loves saying irregardless. It's one of his favorite words. So that's where the name came from. And we wanted to do, or rather have a humorous look at the dramatic season that is the Kenyan election, period, right? At the same time, say a few things about it, right? Have fun while at it. Look at ourselves as Kenyans and our habits and our... there's something that changes in the whole country when election comes. It's like some buttons are switched on and we become different characters, all of us, When from somebody outside watching us, I think they just have a fantastic show of what Kenya is during election season.
It's like we don't think at that point. We don't have brains anymore.
Exactly. We leave our brains at home and we operate on a different mode. So that's the show we're actually doing. It's a show that takes a look at Kenyans and Kenya during an election season and the drama that goes around it.
It's how Esther is agreeing with every statement you are mentioning.
Oh, yes. Looks
like she's the lead role.
Yes, she is.
Oh yeah, she is. And just going by her background with what she's explained, looks like she's a better choice for that lead role.
But there's so many rules. I'm thinking you can't even give a spoiler. I'm playing a cap in one scene. I'm playing a scarf in another scene. In another scene, I'm here. Okay, I'm kidding. But
you're so many things in this play like that?
So many different things. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a play you don't want to.
This is what we call the double multiple casting.
Yes, the show has it's taking different turns. It's moving around, it's dynamic. That's actually one of the most irresistible things about it, regardless.
Maybe this is why I kept saying it's irresistible and not irregardless. In my head it just rings like, irresistible, the play. And it's actually regardless. I'm really trying to get info from Esther, but she's like, you just come and watch this play.
Come and watch it. It's not your typical play. I'm really amazed. Like I've gone for a couple of Chatterbox plays. First of all, I didn't even see myself being in a Chatterbox play, so thank you so much, JJ. But JJ he's a genius. He's really a genius, and I even just reading the on the first day reading when we did the table reading the script, I was like, wow, okay. And then the process of just talking about what the script is saying to us as the talent, it was a very eye-opening session. And I didn't know this side of art. I didn't know this side of theater. It's so interesting. Art is so interesting. So I will just encourage you to come watch it, because I can't even. If I say one thing, I've told you the entire play. But even just one thing.
Okay, I hear you, and I agree. But again, without necessarily spilling the beans, Esther, but just talk to us about what it was preparing for such a character that you're playing, or that you are in the play. Because as we said earlier, this is not those your kawaida kind of plays. I mean, also given the time in which it is coming, matters to do with politics, and as we head up, or as we run up for the elections. So how was it just prepping for this kind of character altogether?
First of all, it was very challenging because I have to project my voice. This is my first stage play. This is my first stage play.
But these are the things you talk about.
Yeah, you think. But listen, hear me out. What are my videos? My videos are me lip-syncing to other people's voices. No one realized that until I said it out loud. So there's projecting my voice, which I am learning, I hope.
Yes, absolutely. Index one.
She's doing a good job.
Index one.
Oh, thank God.
Index one.
And then now just internalizing a character. Now that's something I have never had to do really, because most of my content is just looking at what someone does and then now recreating it in my way. It's not much of, I need to sit down and know what Malema eats, how does he walk, how does he, it's because it's just, it's simple. But for this, I had to really sit down and think about, so hawa watu wakoaje. For another role, I had to call somebody in that profession to ask them what goes on. How do these people talk? What other things do they say? How are they? What's their mood? And what gives them that mood? Umetoa nini nyumbani? Stress gani umetoa nyumbani ndio wako hivi? So it's been challenging, but I love the challenge. I love a good challenge. I feel like I've grown, and I can't wait to keep growing with every single part of this play is just different, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. Yeah.
I really like what you're saying in terms of growth. I mean, that's what we're here for anyway. Life is all about growth and progression. If you're staying in the same place over time, then you need to be rethinking it. But let's come to these issues that you're seeking to address. And I just read, it was part of the profiles there, but that your mission is to deliver creative, compelling narratives that positively transform how the world sees and views Africa. I mean, in your perspective, because we have had quite a number of stories told about Africa by non-Africans.
Yeah.
So do you feel like this has disparaged Africa in a way of sorts, sort of like belittling us in one way or the other, that now you want to seek to shift and change that perspective?
Yes, it has. In fact, that's probably one of the saddest things about the picture of Africa to the rest of the world, all right? It's been told by non-Africans.
Yeah.
And if you don't tell your own story, then somebody else will do it for you, okay? And they'll do it for you in the way they feel or they want to portray you.
Yeah.
I think that has been Africa's biggest loss, right? We haven't, especially, you know, I don't know, maybe the past 15, 20 years, for some reason we just didn't tell enough stories of who we are, of our culture, of our problems, of our successes, and so we lost a period where we would have built the right picture of what Africa is to the rest of the world, right? Now, I think this generation of storytellers, because of digital, have the best opportunity to give a new narrative about Africa.
Yeah.
And that's because we have digital. So the story is in your hands, the story is wherever you are, right? And with that power, you can imagine what we can do.
So tell our own stories as they need and
As they need
should
to be told, yeah.
be told.
Yeah.
So also this play, I mean, just from borrowing from what both of you are saying, is that
Yeah.
it cuts across. It's not for a specific set of group. It's just basically for all of us as Kenyans.
Absolutely, yeah.
Whether you're a young person, an old,
Yes.
a man, a woman, it doesn't matter.
It does not matter. This story is for every Kenyan. It's for every Kenyan. Yeah. You'll see yourself. Every person, you will see yourself. You'll see yourself on that stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, as we wind down,
Yeah.
and I just want Esther to really also talk to us about that in terms of, we've said it's tomorrow, yes, but how is this running tomorrow, up until when, the times and the charges?
So it's tomorrow, 22nd to 24th on Sunday. Tomorrow it will be at 8, is it 8 or 7?
Yes, 8.
8, Saturday 7, Sunday 3 and 7. The charges are 1,500 advance, 2,000 at the gate. Yeah.
So the earlier you pay, the better.
The earlier you pay, the
better.
better. In fact, from noon today till noon tomorrow, we've opened up an offer, all right? Because of you guys having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. The offer is 2,500 for 2 tickets.
Okay.
It's opening at noon till noon tomorrow for 24 hours. Yeah.
And this is at Braeburn.
It's at Braeburn Theatre, Gitanga Road.
Okay.
Gitanga Road, yeah.
So, well, good place to end it.
Asante.
Watu wakuja waone show.
Watu wakuja waone show.
Wakuwe informed better.
Watanaisika.
Wata feel nice.
Wata feel nice.
All good things and everything nice.
Yeah.
All right, a good place to end this first part of our conversation. Matters to do with theatre, film, politics, entertainment, just forming the center of our conversation. My guests have been John Jumbi, that is JJ, who's a film and theatre writer to my immediate right, as well as Esther Kazungu, an actor and a content creator. But Good Morning Kenya is not yet done. We still have so much in store for you after this break. Stay with us.
Asante.